Timothy. And I stop every once in a while, and there'll be other lessons that it seems like it'd be helpful to insert. We're in looking at 2 Timothy and 1 and verse 6, he talks about some elements that's really helpful in the Christian life if you add this to that and this to that. And one of the things is add to your faith virtue, make good decisions. To your virtue, knowledge. Let's get God's insight for whatever. And then to your knowledge, self-control. And one of the interesting things about that is we say it, but I'll tell you from my own standpoint, I kind of wondered about it for years. It's kind of like this mysterious mist that just drops on some people and you got it or you don't. Isn't that how that works? He said, well, no, Paul, that's not how it works at all. And so we're going to talk this morning about how to improve your self-control. I thought, well, the first thing, let's talk about what is that thing we call, and we use different phrases that really mean the same thing, self-control, self-discipline, or willpower. It all carries that same idea. But what it really means is the willingness to adjust your behavior and attitudes to reach your current most important goals. Which direction do you want to go? I've got a secret. And you know, a lot of things in life, there's a little trick to it. If you do this trick, it works one way. If you don't, the other. Guys and maybe gals, in carpentry, there's a trick. If you want to nail a nail into a board and do it with one stroke, you wind up, close your eyes, and swing the hammer. I say, Paul, that's not the right way to do it at all. You're not up to even hit the nail. Well, maybe not in that one. But if you're interested in shooting, whether you just enjoy the sport of or you're a hunter, there's a trick to shooting. Is that as you aim your firearm at your target or the deer, elk, or whatever it is, close your eyes and jerk the trigger. You say, Paul, that's the wrongest advice it could possibly be. The only way you're going to hit the target is by accident. It doesn't work that way. You keep your eyes open, you keep it on the target. In this case, you breathe in, slowly let out your air, and slowly squeeze the trigger while you're watching the target. Well, but maybe that's true in that, but what about baseball? You see the pitcher wind up. As he releases the ball, you close your eyes and swing the bat. He said, Paul, that's crazy. It never worked. And that's right. There is a trick, isn't it? And what's the one common denominator in all that? You keep your eye on the goal. And that's one of the things I'd like us to think about today. The APA, American Psychological Association, says they found that 27% of the respondents identified the lack of willpower as the primary factor keeping them from reaching their goals. Almost a third of the people say, well, I don't have any willpower. Well, yeah, what is it, a certificate that comes in the mail? How do you get the thing? The majority of people, that is 3/4 of them, believe that self-control can both be learned and strengthened. It's just like nailing, shooting, swinging. There's little tricks. He said, if you do this, it works out a whole lot better than if you just close your eyes and make some random motion. Because 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6 is said, with all diligence at your faith, virtue, knowledge, and self-control. You say, well, we're supposed to do that. I see it says it, but how do you do the thing? That's what this morning's lesson is going to be about. How do you improve that thing that we think it's good to have, but oh boy, sometimes we start and we get wavering all over the place. And the first thing is, determine what's really important to you. That is what your goal really is. And you know, with a variety of people, you'll have some similar ones, some different ones. And so I just have, 8 or 10 things that people will think, if you're a Christian, what's important? Putting God first in every decision. Isn't that right? Matthew 22 and verse 37, Jesus is asked, what's the great commandment? He said, you want to know the great one? Here it is. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and depending on which time Jesus said it, sometimes it's all your strength or all your mind. If you want to serve God, here's what it's about. I'm all in. Well, how much all in? I mean all in. And once you got your goal, you say, Paul, wouldn't you like to, like Jim's car got stolen, and the druggies use it, and they go out and blah, blah. You could use a little extra money if you start stealing cars. Yeah, but that's going to take me to a direction, housing in the Gray Bar Hotel, that I'm not interested in reserving a room. I've got a goal, and my main one is I want to please God. There's all kinds of goals you might find that have some importance to you, others maybe less so, about healthy eating or a certain weight. Here's what I want to be like. Well, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 12 said, if you're wise for yourself. That's your choice. Somebody else said, oh, no, man, I want to eat myself into oblivion. Your choice. But another person says, no, I just have trouble getting where I want to be. And we're going to talk about that. What about if I'd like to read the Bible? Great passage, Psalm 119 and verse 18. Open my eyes that I might see wonderful things from thy law. We turn corners. Oh, man, Glenda, listen to this. And we get excited about it because that helps. If that's the direction we want to go, that gives us insight how to get there. Maybe you want to read the New Testament in a year. Maybe getting off drugs or nicotine or alcohol. Because a lot of times where people get that way, it's an addiction. Well, I like it. Yeah, but maybe so. But if that's your situation, think about what Paul said, 1 Corinthians 6:12. I will not be mastered. I will not be controlled by any. I drink coffee. How much? I'm going to tell you. I put about 1 inch in the bottom of my coffee cup. Well, I drink it so slow it gets cold, so there's no use filling the cup up. I make a pot of coffee that lasts me a week. It's warm. Do you have to have it to be awake? I don't think it really does much good. It's just warm. But I don't want anything to control me but Jesus Christ. Other people, it may be anger they really struggle with, or fear, or negative. A passage really I came across, and one that Jim Hester mentions from time to time, 1 John 4 and verse 16, perfect love casts out fear. Moms, if your kids are going to be hit by a car, you don't call 911. You dive out in front of that car, save your kid. Why? Because that child means so much to you. Any other sacrifice is irrelevant. That's what's important. We can talk about how to get there. Or for some people, it's moral choices. They're on the wrong track and they know it and they feel bad about it. And they want to be more holy. Well, that's what Peter said in 1 Peter 1:16. Citing for God, be holy, set apart, because I'm holy. I want to be like my Father. Just a couple more. It may be growing past your past. People have a lot of childhood miseries and regrets and bitterness or anger or abuse, neglect or abandonment, whatever it is. And Paul got the opportunity to look back on his life and realize he had been persecuting Christians, killing them. And then he became one and realized, man, I was so far on the wrong track. I'm an apostle. I don't even deserve to be an apostle. He said, yet, 1 Corinthians 15:10, by the grace of God, I am what I am. God, you wanted me here. Okay, I'm here. And I'll do the best that I can do. And think about attending church. Some people, oh yeah, they come every once in a while. Revelation 3:16 came to my mind, and here's Laodicea. He said, because you're lukewarm. You come every once in a while. Come if it's convenient. Or he said, no, God's the main thing in my life. I want to be with Christians. There's times you get sick. There's times you got to travel. That's so. But where's your heart? Where do you want it to be? Or maybe improving your attitude. Some people are just negative mercy. Philippians 4:13, Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If God wants me to do it, I can do it. It may be scary. It may be challenging. But you say, you know what? I've got a goal. And that's the direction I want to go. It may be, I want to have a zero debt status. Proverbs 22 and verse 7, the borrower is the lender's slave. Man, they squeeze the interest and all of this. Man, it's nice to have things where you're not strung out on debt. Or it might be an exercise or athletic regimen that's right for you. In 1 Timothy 4:8, New International Version, said it has some value. I want to tell you, I get up most days, 5 days a week, I get up and I work out. Do I want to do that? And the answer is, No, I don't want to. I'm talking to Ryan almost every morning. I get up and say, oh man, look, it is cold outside. It's rainy outside. You're tired. You don't feel like it. You know, it'd be so much easier if, and I get up anyhow, put on my tennis shoes, because I know my friend's going to be waiting there for me. And I get there, and this was last 2 days. We work out 2 days a week, and I work out another thing 3 days. Another situation. So Tuesday morning, I get up. Man, I do not feel like working out at all. But I thought, Ryan's going to be there. Paul, you said you're going to be there. Show up. Ryan's there, good mood. He's coming in, dressed, got all his workout clothes on. I'm coming in. Oh, my goodness. How you doing? Oh, we're here. And go in, he checks in, and I feel like I'm barely functional. And we get over to where the free weights are, and he goes, hi-ya! I go, whoa, he woke me up. I'm ready to go. Because I had a friend that I had committed to, and he caught my attention. I thought we were going to be doing free weights, and he's challenging me with martial arts. And so it worked. Man, I tell you what, every time I get up, almost every day, I don't go work out because I want to. I work out because I have goals, and I need to. I've committed to a friend, and I want to be there. But beyond that, it has goals that's moving me toward my most important direction. The reality is, you can go online and check this out. Early this morning, I heard about this test called the Stanford Marshmallow Test. And they've done it repeatedly in different situations, but the basic thing is they take a kid into like a little small classroom, and it has a table there, and it could be one kid there or 2 kids there, and they put a marshmallow in front of them. I said, now here's the deal. You can eat the marshmallow right now if you want to, or you can wait a little while, and if you don't eat it, I'll give you 2. Now, Ryan, what would you do? And so what this study does is it has this hidden camera and watches what kids do. Some of them get down on the table. They're staring at the marshmallow. Some kids, they don't mind. Boom, it's in the mouth and it's gone. Others, this kid, he starts out, he's not actually eating it. Now he's rolling it in his hand. He's get the feeling of the marshmallow. And then he's licking the marshmallow. He's not actually eating it, but getting pretty close. These 2 little kids appear to be a brother and a sister. And it follows them because it's interesting. They tell them the same thing. You each got a marshmallow. And the teacher, whoever it is, goes out of the room. Now, if you wait and don't eat it, I'll give you 2 when I come back in a little bit. And so right away, the little girl's picking at it, and the brother's saying, you can't get 2 marshmallows. I can wait. And she's eating and biting it and whatnot. And here near the end of this segment, she says, the little girl with her head leaning back because she's agonizing over her marshmallow, she says, I can wait. And she's still eating the marshmallow. And the brother says, well, you still ate some of it, so she's not going to give you 2. It was clear, it's okay if you eat it right away. But the rules is, if you wait, you get 2. Guess who won? And and these kids are between 3.5 and 5.5 years old. This little kid dressed up what appears to be in a Dalmatian puppy suit. They put the marshmallow in front of him, and he said, I want 2. And what they did, you can watch the video. He looks at the marshmallow, he touches it, and then he leaves it alone. And he does all kind of other things other than touch and lick and nibble at the marshmallow. He'll hum, and he drums his fingers and looks around, and he does all kinds of things because he's got to go. I want 2 marshmallows. And if I stare at the marshmallow, I'm going to eat the marshmallow. And so the trick is, if you've got a goal, you look at the goal, not at what you shouldn't be doing. If I say, if it's a cupcake, I don't particularly like cupcakes, but I'll eat them, or pies, or candy bars, or anything else that's sweet, think about this. If you're there and you say, I can't eat the cupcake, I can't eat the cupcake, I can't eat the cupcake, 3 of the 4 words you are saying is eat the cupcake. And so you're trying to motivate yourself with the negative of an idea. What is it you want to do? What is it you want to become? You visualize that. That's what I want to do. That's the direction I'm going. I had that this last week. I told Glenn about it. I'm trying to eat healthier and do this. I got certain goals along that line. And I was in a Safeway store. And I went down there, and here is a little York peppermint chocolate-covered candy bar, little circle thing. And I thought, oh, man, I'd really like that. And I looked at it. Whatever it was, I don't remember, $1.39 for a 25-cent piece of chocolate. Boy, that irritated me. I don't want to, and I shouldn't have been looking at it anyhow, because that's not the direction I want to go, but I was. I said, well, you need to be thinking about protein, not just fats and sweets. And I looked over here, and here is a pepperoni stick. Well, it's got protein, and 9 pounds of grease with it. I said, is that going to get you in the direction you want to go? And I said, no. Quit looking at the candy bars and the pepperoni sticks. I said, well, there's nothing I want here, and walked out of Safeway. You get to look at the direction you want to go rather than focusing about the direction you don't want to go. So number one, what's important to you? Number two, count the cost. That's how you improve your self-control. And Luke chapter 14, verse 28 said, which one of you, when he wants to build, it may be a tower, it may be a house, it may be a corporation, it may be you want better health in your eating plan or exercise, finances, or whatever it is, does not first sit down and count the cost to see if he has enough to complete it. I chose this house that was framed. He said, okay, there's your house. Well, wait a minute, where's the plumbing? Where's the electricity? Any flooring in there? And he, oh no, but you got a frame. Well, that's something. But if they ran out of money, it's nice, but it's not really a functional house. And you think about this, everything has a cost. Everything. Being healthy has a cost. Being sick has a cost to it, right? You're paying. Living in a home has a cost. It's got repair or a mortgage or taxes. Being homeless has a cost. It's cold. It's dangerous. Having kids has a cost. Having cars has a cost. Having friends has a cost. Being friendless has a cost. Obeying the law, not obeying the law, all has a cost. Being lazy has a cost. Being a hard worker has a cost. Being a Christian has a cost. Being an atheist has a cost. Everything has a cost. Once you come to that term, say, all right, whatever and choose one goal. Don't choose 16. And then think about it. What will this particular goal cost me? Will it take more time? How about when you work out? Absolutely. Does it take money? It does take some money. How about effort? It does take effort. Education, well, you learn as you go in that situation. How about planning? Yeah, we're going to do this and then we're going to do that. Or for others, it might be a change in your priorities or a change in your habits or a change of mind. But what happens is you say, there's the goal. That's the kind of thing I want to do. And in order to do that, it's going to take these 3 or 4 or 5 things. And you think, that's what the cost is. Fair enough. Like that phrase we're familiar with, if you always did what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. Well, are you happy where you are in blah land? Say, well, no, I want to do better. Okay. Then what it'll cost is these 3 things or 5 things or whatever the thing is. Now you know the cost of that. I like this graphic. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. I said, that's what I want most. There's the bigger picture. There's where I want to go. There's where I want to be. There's what I want to accomplish. And I'm not going to get it if I get sidetracked by this other thing, the marshmallow calling out to me, say, hey, wouldn't you like to do that? Yes, but not what I'd like to do most. And so now that you calculated the cost, if that's your goal, make up your mind, you're willing to pay that particular price. I was talking to Dave Garner Friday. He deals with cars, and he mentioned this one car, and it was $341,000, thereabout. And it really caught my attention. I don't usually spend that much on a car, or does anybody else that I know. And what kind of car? It's a DeLorean. Jim Hester, get rid of that old car you got. A DeLorean will do 250 miles an hour? You could get Kathy here to church in about 11 minutes. So, well, yeah, it's a two-seater. I said, and it's a 2022. It's brand new. They're selling it for less money, whoever's selling it, than they paid for it. Well, they probably want to put their money somewhere else. But Jeff, forget about your pickup. Man, he's got a car for you. $341,000. Well, then there's tax and license and dealer prep and Dave's personal fees, so it costs you $500,000. But the reality is, do I want to pay that price for a car? No, there's other things that I would want to do. And so make up your mind to pay the price. Daniel chapter 1 and verse 8, they were taken into captivity, and Daniel made up his mind he would not defile himself with the king's food. You come to a spot and say, that's the price, and that's the price I am willing to pay. Think about Ruth and Naomi. As Ruth, a Moabitess, is about to follow Naomi back into the land, and she said, where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge, and your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Whoa! Man, this gal has made up her mind. Naomi tried to discourage her. Yeah, but she said, look, man, I'm going with you. She said, okay. Think about Esther. You could save your people or save your life. And she said, I will go, and if I perish, I perish. She said, that's the cost, and I'm willing to pay it, whatever it is. Wow, that's inspirational. So let's think about this. Self-control, this aspect of self-discipline starts with the mastery of your thoughts. Where do I want to go? And if you can't control what you think, you can't control what you do. You say, wow, it's not this mist that falls down on you. You just get to choose what's the most important, and then keep your eye on the target. That's the direction I want to go. And so Romans chapter 12 and down in verse 2, Paul says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's our problem. We have all these issues, things that have competing and conflicting interests. And if I choose this, I can't do that. Yeah, but this is my most important. And so I want to follow my most important goals, and I'm willing to bypass on just the distracting ones. I like this saying, day by day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do is who you become. Isn't that true? Now, who said that is also interesting. Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher, 500 years before Christ. It's not some kind of, whoa, it just popped out of a Wheaties box top they just discovered. It's always been that way. You make choices on your life on what's most important, and you pursue that goal. And those things will help build you. Number 4, what you do in pursuing those goals is list all the reasons why you want to do that. If you turn over to Deuteronomy 28, we'll not do that right now, but in verses 2 through 6, and you can drop down to 11, God is telling his people all the reasons why they could, ought to, and should obey God's law. He said, if you do that, you're going to be blessed in the city. You're going to be blessed in the country. Your cattle's going to be blessed. Your children's going to be blessed. If you do that, here's all the great things you are going to get. And so as you go along in any project, I don't care if you're playing the piano or whatever it is, there gets to a point, I don't feel like it. And then you get to reflect back on, but why am I doing this? Moms with little kids. In this case, all your little kids are always obedient, healthy, and do the right thing. Or not. So, but you generally don't put them in a brown paper bag and trade them off somewhere. It's part of life, helping them grow and nurture. And you remember, why did I want these children in the first place? And so whatever the goal is, I just listed a number of things somebody might have for goal XYZ. I'll be healthier if I do it. For me, a lot of exercise things, I will feel better. I'll be more mentally alert. You think about, when you have Thanksgiving and you eat all the turkey and mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes, and how do you feel about 30 minutes later? We're just floating out there in the ozone layer because, man, we got all this fog in our brain. Rather than, okay, but think about in real life, how alert do you want to be? What about what my actions? Will I be honoring God? And I want to bless my family in what I do. Will it account for greater self-esteem because I don't feel bad because I was doing the things I knew that were wrong? And I can bless others because I learned somewhat about how that is, or inspire people that are struggling because you yourself have struggled. Be a better person. And the most important reason is that fits wherever you are. You write your own reasons in, and the more the better, because when the things get really tough, you're preparing yourself to say, this is why I'm doing that. This is why I've made those choices and these sacrifices. And the bigger picture, it's really worth it. You improve your self-control by listing all the reasons. And Psalm 69:5 was one of those that I saw that David had written. He said, God, you know my foolishness, and my sins aren't hidden from you. World English Bible. May those who hope in you not be disgraced because of me, O Lord, the Lord Almighty. Because we're living for something beyond just us. We're living for God and others. And you don't want to make such a great catastrophe that others say, why am I even trying? And so it's exciting. It's momentous, because what you think and what you do is who you become. One fellow that Jim Hester quotes from time to time is Jim Rohn. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Fair enough. Yeah, okay. You know, whether it's fishing or hunting, if I really want to do it, boy, I'll sacrifice a lot of things. I can work double time to make this and that happen. If you don't want to do it, a paper cut will work. And so when you're thinking about, what about this idea of self-control, of self-discipline, of self-will, that I do it because I have a goal and I'm moving in that direction. Because I realize that goal, and maybe the ones that support that goal, are more important than those that distract. Then surround yourself with supportive people. Because if you have everybody around you, you're a loser, you can't do it, it's never worked out, look how you messed up, man, that just tears down. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 said, 2 are better than 1, for if either of them falls, one will lift up his companion. And if one can overpower him who is alone, 2 can resist him, and a cord of 3 strands is not quickly torn apart. You get 1 person on your side, you get 2. Man, this is, you get 3, wow. In martial arts, I get to spar with black belts. I am the oldest guy on the mat that spars. And I begin to have the energy of guys that are half my age, a third my age. And I get out there. The reason I tell this, because one guy does in particular. He's a 4th degree black belt. The strongest guy on the mat. Been doing it 20 years. He warms up by kicking the kicking stanchion 150 times to warm up. I go, oh, please. So here at the end, I get blessed to be sparring with him. Oh, I'm already worn out. I got nothing. And I'm fighting the strongest guy on the mat. So you set up, and he looks at me in the eye, and he said, Paul, you've got this. You can do it. I go, wow, I feel better already. Even as I say that, goosebumps go over it, because somebody else is saying, stay in the fight. You've got a little bit more you can give. Bring it. I go, all right. So I am not a danger to him, but he is such an enormous encouragement to me. Proverbs 13 and verse 20, he who walks with the wise will be wise. So who's a support, an encourager of your goals, that they help you reach those things that's most important to you? To improve your self-control, you keep on keeping on. One text says, victory doesn't ask if you're tired or cold. It just knows if you showed up or not. Ryan, that's why I come. It doesn't matter if I'm tired, I'm here. Just, how are you? I'm sort of ready, but I'm here. And that's what it takes. You just show up, and you stand up, and you do the best you can. 1 Corinthians 15:58, be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. You stay focused. You stay on track. That's my goal. Here's these other things pulling me away. I'm going to focus on my goal. It's a neat passage of Scripture. I was talking with Mike Walker here this last week. In 2 Samuel chapter 23, in verses 8 through 12, David, it has of all his warriors, and 30 of these mighty guys, of the 30, there's 3 that stand out. And I want to talk about the third one. His name is Shammah. We never talk about this guy. There's Eleazar and a nickname, Adino. Fantastic. I mean, just spectacular warriors. But here's Shammah, and here's the reason I put him in here. It talks about him having fought the Philistines when the people withdrew. Everybody else gets scared, backs up, and runs away. He said, I'm here to fight this fight. And he stays, and he wins, and he defeats them. You just show up, regardless whether you're tired and cold. And so, just to follow up with that idea of keeping on, that Hall's cough drops I mentioned about a year ago, if you notice it unwrapping, they have all these little inspirational sayings. You feel sick, but you feel better from reading the label. I don't know if the cough drops help you not, but the label does. And some of the one that I like is turn can do into can did. Be unstoppable. Conquer today. Tough is your middle name. You've got it in you. Keep your chin up. Let's hear your battle cry. Take charge and mean it. All those things talk to us and say, I'm showing up. I'm not as strong as, young as, skilled as, know as much as. Doesn't matter. I'm showing up because this is my goal, and that's the direction I'm going in. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So, to improve your self-control, you determine what's important. You count the cost, all of it, and be willing to pay that price. And then you list all the reasons why that's important to you, because when it gets tough, and it will, that reminds you, that's why I'm on this track. And surround yourself with supportive people, and you show up, and you keep on keeping on. That's the Christian life. It's not a mist. It's a decision. And you have Christians surrounding you. If you want to be a Christian today, you believe in Jesus Christ. You're willing to repent of your sins. You're willing to confess him in faith. Be buried in the waters of baptism. We can start that very decision today for you. If you say, I'd like prayers of the saints. I've been struggling. We're happy to stand with you, stand by you, and help you in any way we can. We're going to be standing and singing number 643, The Lord My Shepherd Is.